We back in.
We need a low forward drivers to get this started.
And
Oh, no.
when this happened, I knew it was over. I knew it. I swear. When I hit him with the jumping, I was like, I know everything that's about to happen on defense right now. I asked.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. This jump in is so iconic, and I've seen people say the reason that Punk won EVO 2024 was because Big Bird did not know how to do an anti-air. I think this is kind of one of those things where not until you're in that situation can you actually, say something like that. I guess maybe it's a tongue-in-cheek way of saying Big Bird basically allowed for a free jump in. This jump in is so iconic that Big Bird's friends clowned him and made him a cake for taking second place with the jump in there. Now, in fun, they were just roasting one another. That's, friends would do stuff like that. However, this is how iconic it is. In fact, let me go ahead and play it so you guys can also hear what Big Bird said when he got the cake.
He got me a cake, right? This is nice and all. It's very thoughtful of him, right? But look at this. You see the moment where it all went wrong. He had the picture of the jump in. Do you guys see it? The picture of an actual jump in. Nah, I'm not eating this cake, bro. You can take it. You can take it.
I don't blame you, Big Bird. I know your friends are basically just poking fun at you, but honestly, a lot of us in the FGC community, we're happy for both you and Punk. It's one of those things where, you had a big burden behind you to come from losers to try to beat, the champion sitting there or the person who'd been in winners. Is very hard to do. In fact, many of you remember Item and the gentleman from Japan. I cannot remember his name. I think it was the last Street Fighter V Evo, and Item did basically a lot of heavy lifting to get there, and it's just very hard. By the time you get to the Game 5 and all that, you've mostly been downloaded, even if you're on fire and coming in really hot to take the winners away from where it is that they are. So that was a huge burden, and I think it's just a heavy lifting that he did to get even this far. But let's go back to what Punk had said in this regard.
Big Bird, what happened? He told me he just went blank here. He don't know. Like, he just walked into it. His mind just went blank. And that's why I think that maybe the Evo, like at that moment, that's when Evo might have gotten to Big Bird right here. When that jump, the jump came raining down on him.
And for many of you who may or may not know, I think he actually tried to react to it. And maybe the inputs just were not fast enough, because Street Fighter is such a fast game. As a primary Mortal Kombat player, I gotta tell you, man, Street Fighter is freaking fast. Like, your frames and your reactions really have to be on point. Else, little things like these are gonna take you out. And, even in a game like Mortal Kombat with all of its BS nonsense that it can also be able to, some characters can do their jump-ins and it can basically take you out. And so
Could be an Evo losing anti-air.
I knew right there he was going to try to hold up to get out because, of course, I down on him.
I want to see carefully, because I know Punk slowed this thing down, but I want to go ahead and see for myself because I was like, man, I know he probably input something there. It just probably did not, have enough startup frames. And this is one thing about Street Fighter, and a game that is so well animated. The animations are just so beautiful. So everything is so emphasized. So I think in the jump in, you see, if you notice, look at that. I think in the jump in, or maybe, I think he was pressing something. And I think he was trying to anti-air, but maybe he just did not register like, maybe I can anti-air just, at this moment in time. And that particular anti-air versus his input did not just, gel or did not just activate on time as Cam's jump in was coming in. And she probably had some measure of invisible frames as well. Or maybe that's just the way, the interaction went. I don't know what the input config for Rashid's, what's the name? His little air spinny thing. I don't play Rashid. I don't even have the DLC. I play Zangief, and that's it. And that was fair. That was very interesting. So in my opinion, I really think that this is just one of those moments where, as Punk said, Evo got to him, but I'm not too certain that that's. I mean, he said that's what Punk said. He said, but I think he actually tried to, make the input. But I think as the input did not go in, the momentum just, in a sense, just kind of stayed on Punk's side. And once that happened, this is what we got.
That could be an evil
Bam,
losing
bam,
here.
bam.
I knew
bam.
right there he was going to try to.
And ladies and gentlemen, remember, if you go back to my first video of how Punk won Evo, Punk saves his meter here. He could have done a lot more damage, but it's fine. He also had level 3. So if you look at the information on the screen, he had level 3 ready. Rashid had nothing. And Big Bird made the one mistake that he did not make in the other 2 games, which was basically burn a lot of his resources as fast as he possibly could. I think he got really antsy. He did the season 1 aggression thing. Well, Rashid in season 1, he wasn't playing Rashid at that time, but he got really antsy somewhere around here where he was basically railing at Punk, and he got that perfect, and he thought he would drag that same momentum in here, but that didn't seem to work out. So Punk having level 3, leaving his drive rush meter still intact to be able to get enough meter just in case Rashid came out of the corner so he didn't burn himself out.
Hold up to get out, because of course I should go for the throw. It's the last round of the biggest tournament ever that we're playing in, so of course I feel like he's going to think that I have to grab him here, so I went for the meaty. Thank you.
One more hit.
One more hit will do it.
And
Folk, listen to this, man. These fighting game players, these guys are assassins, bro. Listen to this.
right here, I just was like, I got mad drive gauge. I can do the crouching medium kick.
One more hit.
I got mad drive gauge. Paying attention to his drive gauge. Folks think it's something so complicated. Like, it's the simple things. Especially for someone who's already, reached, in my opinion anyways, the learning curve is not a problem for all of these cats that played Evo, even in the top, 24 of most of all the pools that were out there. It's just the little things that really brought them to where it is that they got to.
In force against situation, I had 4 gauges or 4 drive gauges, so I went down to 1 and like a quarter. So it was not too bad. I would have just backed up if it didn't hit, but it ended up hitting.
So basically, that's how he won Evo 2024. And that's how Big Bird, the jump in, one of the most powerful tools in a fighting game, basically caused a momentum shift. That's what it was. It wasn't the jump in that really won the game. The jump in was the iconic moment, the momentum shift. And even his friends looked at it and were like, this cake probably should go to Punk. But his friends are just nutcases, and they just try to do this to my man. But anyways, I thought I'd point this out. Small little thing, big impact. Thanks for watching the video. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. I really appreciate you guys. Hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.